some very interesting follow-up reporting now about the shooter, whose name I really don't even want to say. This name I will say. Mayor Eric Adams of New York, we went with the New York Post coverage on the website today, said that social media firms could have flagged worrying behavior from the suspected N-Train shooter by alerting law enforcement to his vile online video rants before the terrifying attack. Quote, "We are watching signs around us of those who are leaning toward violent actions and ignoring them." Mayor Adams then goes on to say, "I can't play a song on a social media channel that belongs to somebody else without them identifying that." Isn't that true? Isn't that true? I mean, TC, in this back and forth that we do of the headlines from Smerconish.com, you've said to me, well, don't go playing a song as I typically would on radio, because if we're using YouTube, it'll get flagged.
They'll catch us, absolutely. So how is that possible?
That's the mayor's point.
Right.
That is the mayor's point. What it makes me think of is Stephen Levy, the editor-at-large from Wired,
yes,
who wrote the definitive book on Facebook. Did I ever tell you that I interviewed Stephen Levy on POTUS here?
Right.
I interviewed Stephen Levy on CNN, and then I interviewed him in front of a live audience at the Philadelphia Free Library. All of that you know already.
Sure.
Did I ever tell you that when we were backstage and about to go out on stage for me to interview him, it was like the day of the release of his book, Mark Zuckerberg texted him?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
To say what?
He
tell Smerconish I said hi?
I'm really violating all sorts of things now. But my recollection is, I don't remember the wording, the verbiage of the text, but my recollection was that Zuckerberg had read the book. He wasn't thrilled with it, but he really wasn't pissed off either.
This must have been an unusual occurrence, though,
yes,
if he told you. In other words, this wasn't like...
It was like one of these.
Hey. Hey, yeah.
It just came in, or he never would have told me.
Right.
Anyway, Stephen Levy, who wrote that great book on Facebook and is a really smart guy when it comes to technology, in the book that he wrote on Facebook, he takes us into a Facebook workplace where he paints a picture of it being this big, expansive room of just people in cubicle after cubicle after cubicle. And what are they doing? They have 60 seconds to look at a Facebook posting and make a determination as to whether they're going to leave it up or take it down. And the point is that even when you replace humans and use artificial intelligence, it's impossible. I've said this routinely. It's impossible to police. You have 8 billion people on the planet, and I think the number is 2.5 billion who are Facebook users. You can't police all the content. And what it sets up, and you've heard this from me before, it sets up those who are policed. Think Donald Trump removed from Twitter. Think controversy about the New York Post and Hunter's laptop and how that story wasn't allowed to spread through media platforms. It sets up a situation where there will be disparities and people will cry political foul. Why were you able to take down Trump, and yet the shooter in New York was telling you what he's going to do and nobody got in his way?